Hello and welcome to Creator Weekly Live for February 2nd, 2025. I'm Peggy Kay, and today there are updates for YouTube, for Twitch, for Instagram, and there's a bunch more if there's time. I'm also going to talk about a significant change that YouTube made 10 years ago this week. So stay on to the end if you're interested in hearing about that. Welcome to everyone who's here live. I see Craig and Jolyn and Andrew in the chat. Welcome. I hope you're having a good February so far. I feel like January was both really long and really short, if you kind of know what I mean. And I'm not going to talk about politics, but there's too much happening. So let me get started. The first thing I want to talk about is an update from YouTube about communities. If you've been following along, YouTube has been working on communities for a while now. There was a big announcement, I think last September. They've been slowly rolling this out. So what they announced this week is that there was a big push. And they rolled it out to a bunch more channels. And they explained that as the channel owner, you do have controls over who can post in your community and how it can be moderated. So let me just switch here. This is the mock-up they shared. If you are using the YouTube mobile app and you go to a channel that has a community enabled, you should see the option to join if that's available to you. If you are a creator and this option has rolled out to your channel, you will get an email and you will also see a banner in the mobile app. So again, as the channel owner, you can decide whether you want this or not. And along with these changes to the way, to the rollout of communities to a lot more people, they changed the name of the community tab to the posts tab. Now this makes a lot more sense because it is a tab with posts. It was named the community tab for a long time when there weren't even any communities. I don't know the naming thoughts here, but now the communities tab is the posts tab. And if you go to a channel that has communities enabled, and again, communities are only available in the YouTube mobile app. This is Michael Daniel's channel because I know he has communities enabled there. If you go there and you go to the posts tab, what you'll see is a button to go to the community, and then you will see all the posts. So it's the same content that was on the community tab before. It's all posts by the channel owner, quizzes, polls, regular posts, all those things. And if there is a community enabled on mobile, you'll see a button to go to the community. This is still in beta, and I am expecting there will be more changes to this over time. So again, if you see this and you have thoughts, be sure to send feedback to YouTube because they do actually listen to user feedback. The next thing I wanted to talk about, again, on YouTube, in YouTube Analytics, there is a new overview card that shows how much watch time is spent on your channel on different types of devices. So this lets you know where your audience is watching your videos. And this is from my channel, the past 28 days. You can see mostly computer followed by mobile, a little bit on tablets and TV. You can click the card in YouTube Analytics app or on desktop for more detailed information. Again, you can find this card by signing into YouTube Analytics. I'm sorry. You can find this card by signing into YouTube Studio, going to the Analytics tab, and then the Audience tab, and it will be on the Audience tab. And again, you can click it for more details. And then the last YouTube update I want to talk about is an update to YouTube policy. It takes effect soon. And YouTube has updated their harassment policy to prohibit content where a dead person narrates their death or talks about the violence they experienced. This content will be removed. It's one of those things where I can't even believe they have to tell people that this is not good. That's so ghoulish to actually have content like this. But YouTube adjusts the specific examples in their various policies as new trends emerge. So people must be making content like this. Reading the harassment policy, I'll also note that it prohibits content reveling in or mocking the death or serious injury of an identifiable individual. So keep that in mind. If someone you hate dies, you shouldn't make a video that says, "Yay, they're dead," even if you're happy about it. So again, this new policy goes into effect February 10th. I doubt anyone watching this has this kind of content, but if you do, you probably should remove it. I just wanted to give a quick mention over on Bluesky. On Bluesky, last week I talked about how they had an official trending videos feed. Along those lines, there is now a videos tab on profiles. So, upload videos. That's what all the platforms are saying now. Upload videos, upload videos, upload videos. And just a quick mention that if you have a Bluesky account and you're mostly interested in photos, there's a new interface. There's a new site you can go to. It's called Pinksky, pinksky.app. It's a photocentric view of your Bluesky feeds if you want to just look at the photos. It's very almost Instagram-like. You go to this platform, you link your Bluesky account, and then you see all the photos and videos the people you follow are sharing. It's kind of nice. It's not so full of politics. Cute doggies. What more can you want? Yeah, I wanted to just take a second to point out, Craig says, wow, I didn't know people watch that much from computers. So this is my channel, right? And it is kind of surprising to me. So I suspect that many other channels probably have a much higher percentage of people on mobile. I think maybe I need to think about how can I make more content maybe for people on mobile. I am making shorts, which should be mostly mobile, but those don't generate as much watch time. Since this is not views, this is watch time in the stats. These longer live streams, for example, generate a lot more watch time for me than individual shorts do. So that's going to tip the balance. I'm also thinking about maybe there's a way I can make it more TV friendly, because I know some people like to watch on TVs. So I think having this nice card that lays out the information just makes it easier to think about these things and maybe what to do to expand your audience or make the audience that's already there happy. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, let me switch back. That is not what I meant it to do. Okay. So the next update is for Twitch. Now, over on Twitch, you can create clips from your live streams, and when you do this, Twitch actually automatically generates two versions of the clip. It makes a landscape clip. Most people, I think, are live streaming in landscape orientation there. It also automatically creates a vertical clip. So this makes it easy to share these clips onto other platforms where vertical videos are the thing people are doing. They just announced that you can automatically share clips from Twitch to Instagram. This is brand new. If you use Twitch, you should probably see this notice if you go to share a clip. And this is in addition to sharing to TikTok and to YouTube Shorts directly. So this is not just sharing a link, this is sharing the actual clip. And you can do this with your own clips or clips from other Twitch channels if the creator has this sharing option enabled. And how does this help users? I mean, it's kind of a weird thing, right? To think that there's a built-in way that I could share a clip of somebody else's video to my YouTube channel. But this is what Twitch says. And just to note, they have not updated their help center to mention sharing to Instagram yet, even though there's a pop-up and they made an announcement over on X. They say that when you share to TikTok or YouTube and presumably Instagram, they automatically include a hashtag for your Twitch channel. And if you link your TikTok account with your Twitch account, they will mention your TikTok account when a clip from your channel is shared to TikTok. Again, it is not entirely clear to me how this helps build an audience unless you are also on these other platforms with the same name, same channel name. But I'd love to hear from any Twitch creators whether this has actually helped them build their audience or not. And as a creator, you can choose to, you can change the settings so that people other than yourself can't share these clips automatically. Over on Instagram, if you have access to Instagram Insights, and just to note that Instagram Insights are only available if you have a business or creator account. But if you have Instagram Insights, there are two new metrics. The first is something that they call the view rate. This is the percentage of viewers that watched more than 3 seconds of your reel. Now, I'm not an expert on Instagram metrics, but it kind of feels like to me if people aren't even watching beyond 3 seconds, that shouldn't even be a view. But anyway, this is what it looks like. The other metric that they're now showing is called views over time. And this compares the views you're getting on a post to the normal average views you get over time. And both of these metrics break out followers versus non-followers. So this gives you a better handle on especially how your followers are watching your content, how new viewers are watching your content on Instagram. Maybe you can, yeah, I'm just curious how it would work if you're over on Twitch and you automatically share to Instagram a clip from your live stream. You can then see how well the clip does over on Instagram, although I feel like the content is very different. So I'm not sure how well that would actually work. Also, over on Instagram, they shared a guide to the different dimensions in various places on Instagram, and it's kind of confusing. So if you have a carousel of images and videos, those are normally either 4x5, or if you uploaded squares, they are square. Reels are 9x16, stories are also 9x16, but on the grid on your profile, the proportions are 3x4. So the take-home message of all this is if you have something important in your image, in your video, it should be in the center, because depending on where people are viewing it, it could be cropped. So that is the take-home message. Why they're doing it this way, I don't really understand. It seems like there should be some consistency, but who knows? And then I wanted to share a few updates on Threads. Threads is Meta's sort of Twitter-esque platform, microblogging, we call that. New features on Threads over the past couple weeks. You can tag accounts in photos. So if it's a photo of 3 people, you can tag the other accounts, you can tag brand accounts and so forth. You can mark up posts. So when you reshare someone's post, you can now mark it up. That means they actually have a little thing where you can draw on it. So you can circle something, you could make an arrow, you can also highlight text. It's kind of an interesting twist that I haven't seen in any other platforms. I haven't actually seen anyone I follow use it, so I don't know how it will be used. I'm sure there are abusive ways people can use it, because there always are. Threads has also built-in Threads has also launched built-in post scheduling, and you can schedule posts. They're in your drafts folder. I'm actually not seeing this in my account yet. I do have a drafts folder where, if I kind of abandon what I'm doing, but I don't see the option to schedule it for a different time. And there are also metrics for individual posts. You can see your metrics on the web or in the mobile app. On the web, it's at threads.net/insights. The other thing I want to mention is that Threads has started showing ads. No big surprise that they were going to do this eventually. I saw a Louis Vuitton ad. I saw a Nike ad. So these are sort of big name brands that are advertising. It's kind of a weird thing because I see it in my home feed and it doesn't really fit the vibe of other content in my feed. I know Meta can do this because when I'm on Instagram, I'm actually really interested in the ads a lot of times. It does a good job. But I think that there's a trickiness here, because on Instagram, you're there to look at images and videos. So it doesn't really break the mood if there's an ad that has a good image in it. Threads is text-based, so it really kind of pops out. We'll see how that goes. I want to take a moment now just to say hi. I see Nina's in the chat. Welcome, Nina. Immediately after this live stream, of course, we have another live stream on the On eBoard channel. And we'll be giving 3 tips in 10 minutes. I have a really good tip, so you should definitely join us over there. And those were the main updates I wanted to talk about this week. Oh, just to mention, of course, always give the plug. If you want to see all of this week's updates and get all the links, you should check out this week's newsletter. There's a link in the video description. And of course, you should subscribe to my newsletter if you want to get all the week's updates and tips and news in your email inbox every Saturday. So be sure to check that out. I wanted to mention really quickly too, something kind of cool that I haven't really tried. One of the updates for this week is the Blackmagic Camera Android app update. Blackmagic Camera is a really professional grade camera for your mobile device. And so it has all the level settings and all the settings I don't really know how to control. But the cool thing in the latest update is that if you install the app on multiple Android devices, this probably works for the iOS version as well. But the latest update is the Android devices. You can control multiple devices through the app. So I installed the app on both my tablet and my phone, and then I can go to my tablet and control the camera on my phone. I have no particular use for this, but I think it's really cool. I'm feeling like maybe I should do filmmaking. So those are this week's updates. Again, check out all the updates in this week's newsletter. There's more. There's Adobe Premiere updates for AdSense. There's a bunch of things. So be sure to check that out. But now I wanted to talk really briefly about what was happening 10 years ago this week. So 10 years ago this week, there was a big change on YouTube. So 10 years ago this week, YouTube started defaulting to HTML5 in the video player rather than Adobe Flash. If you are an old timer like me, you remember when Flash dominated the web. There were games, of course, there were videos, there were websites that took several minutes to load but had cool animations. Flash was everywhere, and it was sort of widely reviled because, again, it was big and slow and insecure, but it allowed a lot of people to do cool animations and videos. Now, in 2015, Flash was dead on mobile devices already. Apple never implemented it on the iPhone or other iOS devices. I'm not sure it was completely available for Android either, but YouTube was not using Flash on mobile devices. But at the time, a lot of people were still using, of course, their computers, watching video on desktop. And so this was a huge change, that the default video player used HTML5 instead of Flash. This actually allowed YouTube to implement some really cool features. The first thing they mention is taking advantage of the VP9 video codec. You don't need to know what that is exactly, except that this particular codec allowed YouTube to stream their videos at higher quality using lower bandwidth. So that was an improvement for everyone. It let them use WebRTC. Now, if you have been in a video call Meet, Zoom, all of them, they use WebRTC. This is a protocol that allows streaming a video across the web. This change to make HTML5 the default allowed them to enable live streaming from the browser and live streaming from game consoles like the Xbox and PlayStation 4. So of course, this is huge for live stream gaming content. And the other big change this caused was they no longer supported Flash embeds on other websites. So, you go to a website, there's a YouTube video embedded, and originally these were Flash objects. This required those to be replaced with an iframe. And Jim mentions in the chat, Flash was pretty insecure. Yes, I believe that was one of the big arguments for not using Flash, is that it had a bunch of security issues. It's a hard thing to change, though, right? When people are already using this across the web, and I assume that there were reasons why it couldn't really be secured. So one of the funny things is that if you go to older websites today, sometimes you'll still run into these Flash YouTube videos, and they don't work anymore. So what happened? This was sort of one of the last nails in the coffin of Flash. It was already, people kind of hated it. It was not available on mobile, but people were using it. But you have a big platform like YouTube, and I think the other video streaming platforms as well, shifting to HTML5. There was less and less reason to support Flash. So Adobe announced in 2017 that they would be killing Flash off. I say killing it off, it sounds dramatic, but they actually literally say it was the end of life of Flash. And they would stop updating and distributing the Flash player at the end of 2020. So that gave people 3 years to deal with this. They encouraged content creators to migrate existing Flash content to HTML5 or other open formats like WebGL. And then 2020 came, Flash is dead. I had to share this because it kind of cracks me up that there is a website, isflashdeadyet.com. It has information about Flash, and the answer is yes, it is. If you have an older website, make sure that you don't have any Flash players embedded. I spent a lot of time going through trying to update various embedded content on my older blogs, and I'm sure I missed some things. And the kind of sad thing is that there was some content that was never updated. A lot of games, for example, never got an updated version, and Flash is dead. So that is what was happening 10 years ago this week. Whoops. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I will have a post with links about the 10 years ago this week on my blog later this week, and there'll be more next week. Thank you all for joining me live. I hope you join me again next Sunday. And again, as a reminder, there's another live stream immediately after this. There should be a redirect that you see when I close this down. So have a great week, and I will see you again next Sunday.